Yeah, come in.
Hello, Stoney.
How are you today?
Good to see you.
How have things been since our last session?
They've been good, but I had a concert on the weekend, so I found that obviously the anxiety was happening again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how did that go though with the anxiety? How did you deal with it?
I tried using some ways to kind of, get myself more relaxed, feel more at ease, not worry about it so much the night before. So it's improving, but still anxious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll just ask you a few other questions and see if you're able to answer them. So, drawing on your own experiences, how do nerves influence your performance? Obviously, you told me before that, kind of it's been difficult with it all. So, if you've got anything else to add.
Well, I think the nerves on my performance, it impacts it, obviously.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling more nervous about the competition or the concert or the exam, I guess it's decreasing my performance abilities.
Yeah, so overall it's still impacting pretty greatly.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, decreasing the performance. Influencing.
Exactly. Can you describe at a time when pre-performance nerves, so before your actual performing, has led to you performing worse?
So I guess there was a time on exams where nerves, especially with dancing, nerves pre-performance have then impacted my performance in ways of where the nerves kind of interfere with the way I'm thinking in a way. So they're overriding, and in positions where I really need to think about something, I'm forgetting steps. I'm making mistakes. I'm, nervous, so I'm, sometimes like shaking a little bit. It's impacting all of my, all of the things that I really need to be super active when I'm going to be dancing.
Okay. So it's kind of just your typical anxiety, really.
Yeah.
So now, is there a time where this has actually improved in your performance? Bettered it?
Yeah, I think there have been times. There are times when I think nerves are a good thing, because they kind of drive me a bit. Like the nerves kind of act as a bit of a motivation, I guess, in a way, where I'm nervous about doing well, so I use that as a motivation to do well.
Right.
In some situations, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's always a good thing.
Yeah.
It shows that you're dealing with your nerves properly.
Properly, yeah.
So another one would be, can you remember the first time you ever experienced anxiety and how it felt then and there?
First time I felt some anxiety, I guess I've been doing kind of solo sports for a long time, since I was young. So thinking about when I've been anxious for the first time, I guess more upsetting than it would have been now. Only difference would have been that the nerves would have been...
it would have been a whole new experience.
Yeah, a new experience, and I guess the pressure now would be greater, so I guess maybe they weren't as strong as of an anxiety as such. But I guess I would have felt like jittery, shaking a lot. I always remember when I was younger, So possibly for the first kind of times, I would always, become a little bit more secluded, not as such talk to the other girls or the other guys around. And I guess they would have been the first times of feeling it, just trying to find a way to deal with it, like not really knowing.
Was that the problem?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Not knowing how to really act on it to make sure it didn't affect me. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. There are a few things you can do with, kind of dealing with things like that, like taking deep breaths. But we can get into that kind of stuff later for you. So another thing, how long would you say your anxiety lasts? And if it lingers around from pre-performance to actually performing, yeah.
I think my anxiety is greatest before I'm doing the activity, especially like the night before, the morning of, when I'm really unsure. I think it comes from an unsure kind of feeling where I'm not really knowing what's going to happen. And so I think that as I go through whatever the activity might be, like an exam or a performance or like a competition, they're decreasing the nerves because I'm feeling like I guess I can do it because I am doing it.
Yeah.
So I guess they're decreasing. But I do feel that, again, sometimes afterwards I do have that nervous, anxious feeling where, I'm reflecting on how I've gone and I'm not sure how I've gone, so then I'm getting anxious on that as well.
Yeah.
So I guess there is some post-anxiety as well.
So you can say that pre-performance, the anxiety's there, then it slowly dissipates when you're actually performing.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it, the anxiety comes back because you want to know how you did.
Yeah.
And such.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very common thing in a lot of my patients. They have that kind of, effect. So, how would you say anxiety affects you affects you now compared to the first time when, you kind of experienced it?
I think there's kind of two different separate ways that it's affecting. I think it's affecting more in the sense that there's more at risk, more at stake. There's more pressure than there used to be. However, I know more about how to deal with the anxiousness or what I can do, or that, that it is going to be okay in the end. And I guess compared to what it used to be, where it was hard because I didn't know strategies of dealing with the anxiety to make sure it didn't impact me, but I guess the pressure wasn't as much.
Yeah. Okay. No, that makes that, have you spoken to anyone about it, on how to deal with it? Like your coaches, for example, because they probably have to deal with that kind of stuff a lot of the time.
Yeah. I have talked to them. Sometimes I do find that my coaches do increase my anxiety sometimes.
Oh, so negatively?
Negatively can be because of their pressure on me as well. So it's making me nervous because I really want to impress them and I really want to do well for them. And sometimes I feel like I'm a reflection on them. So I want to make sure I do well. So they can increase my anxiety, but I guess they can decrease it in helping me beforehand just to relax and encouraging me, letting me know, reassuring me that I do know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And then also my teammates can do both the same as well. I get anxious because there is a bit of competition between us. But then I also, they can help me because they do also, they're going to help you through it as well. They're living through the same thing as well. So,
exactly.
Yeah, both negative and positive, yeah.
Well, I feel like that's a big thing, and they would have a big kind of influence on you. And, I think that you have done well with this, experiencing it and everything. So I've written down some notes on how we can improve, and I'll share them with you next time because unfortunately we're out of time today. But, it was really good seeing you again. and it's a pleasure.
Thank
and
you.
I'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you.
Bye.
Bye. Yes.